Today on Go Island, we're at Milner Gardens in Qualicum Beach. This is our assistant. Come on in. We're talking the 7th annual Easter Bunny Search and Hunt. There are some special treats in store, and this guy is pretty excited about it. Today on Go, carving totems at the Songhees Nation, rapid fire with the Nanaimo Clippers, and long before Dancing with the Stars, there was the Island Fantasy Ball. That and more today on Go. Today on Go Island, it's all about an Easter Bunny search here at Milner Gardens in Woodland in Qualicum Beach. The 7th annual event, great for the entire family. My little guy is running around here crazy somewhere. If you can get the kids outside and an environment where the adults are happy and have some fun with the family over the Easter weekend, then everything is right with the world. I didn't expect to say that, but it's the absolute truth. We're going to throw things down to Victoria now. Jen Moranitz touches base with some carvers who are putting the house posts on a new structure, a new wellness center at the Songhees Nation. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and today we are talking Easter. Well, I guess it's leading into becoming a tradition here at Milner Gardens. I know the history of Milner Gardens, but maybe you don't. Jeff Ball is the executive director here at Milner Gardens in Woodland. Why is it so special, this place?
Oh, it's special for many
Big question, I know.
Yeah, yeah. The history of the place is just fascinating. You know, from the time it used to be a private retreat. It was a getaway for some very wealthy Canadians. And you know, for a while it was used by the royalty. I mean, it did entertain Lady Di and Charles for an afternoon, and the Queen and Prince Philip were out here for 3 days. They had a chance to just decompress and you know, get grounded ahead of a big conference in Victoria many years ago. Yeah. And then, of course, it's been turned over to Vancouver Island University, so it's a chance for people to come and kind of explore what that world would have been like to have had a private retreat. So yeah, it's a beautiful woodland estate garden.
How many acres?
We have 70 acres overall, and we have 60 acres of beautiful old growth Douglas fir that really nestle this wonderful garden and estate. So yeah, it's a great space to come and explore.
Now, Veronica Milner is the woman who the garden is named after, and she's kind of the one that started it all, and it was her dream for it to sort of in perpetual be a garden and grow and continue to be the space that it is, and that's how it got handed over to VIU.
Yeah, she was one of the real driving forces in seeing the garden develop the way it did. She had love of horticulture and a real good artistic eye, so you know, a lot of the views that are created in the garden are her doing. Yeah. Lots of other people had input, but yeah, she had that real visionary eye for it.
And what role do the students then play?
Well, we're fortunate. The students from the horticulture technician program at VIU, they come up and they use it as a living laboratory. Right. So they'll be out next week and they'll renovate the lawns, and they have a chance to put into practice what they've been learning. They've renovated our orchard. They'll come through and prune it every year. They'll do plant identification, and in the past they've rebuilt fences and landscapes, and just a chance to get their hands working in what they're training. So. Yeah, excellent opportunity for them.
So there is a lot of activity that takes place behind the scenes all year round here at Milner Garden. They do host several special events on an annual basis, and one of those is coming up this Easter weekend. We're going to tell you more about it on this edition of Go Island. In the meantime, Nanaimo has a lot of heritage homes, nothing quite like this, I don't think, but Jocelyn Matwee takes a closer look at one of them. An absolutely beautiful home. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. According to the map, the gardener's cottage, I think, would be a pretty good spot, yeah, to find one of the bunnies. If I collect all 12 and make a little mark, I can take my map over to the pool house, which is now the gift shop, and exchange it for a chocolate treat. There's Milner Easter Bunny Search taking place here on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday from 10 a.m. until 5, with the last entry taking place at 4:30. We'll be back with more on Go Island after a short break. Still ahead today on Go Island, the glitz and glamour of the Island Fantasy Ball, and This Week in BC, righting historical wrongs. That and more still ahead today on Go Island. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and what better way is there to kick off a sunny, warm Easter long weekend than here at Milner Gardens and Woodland in Qualicum Beach. It's their 7th annual, is there a title for the Easter celebration?
Easter Bunny Search.
Easter Bunny Search. And how does that work? We've given you a little hint so far, but what's the process like?
Well, it's a fun activity for the kids. They seem to have a great time with it every year. We just go through and we hide a series of ceramic bunnies throughout the garden, and the kids have a chance to really get out and explore and the different pathways and areas of the garden and just try to find as many as they possibly can. And at the end they can turn the map in and get an Easter treat at our gift shop. Yeah. And then we have a second layer too, thanks to Ted Jolda, a local artist. He kindly gives us a number of Easter eggs that he's blown. And not a lot of them, but there are a few hidden out there, and if you're one of the lucky ones who finds it out in the garden, then it's yours to take home, thanks to Ted.
And is that because he's just such a great supporter of what goes on here?
He's a very generous supporter, yeah, and it was his idea, and we're happy to have them. They really add a neat level to it all.
My eyes are going, oh, because I know what his work is like, and I have one of his pairs, and they are collector's items.
They are.
For sure. One of the things that appeals to me is that you can bring your kids here, they can run around looking for bunnies, and the grown-ups can kind of enjoy the scenery and take it all in at the same time. Has the attendance at your events been growing? Because I do get a sense of increased awareness and popularity about what happens here.
Yeah, a lot of these ones, this our Christmas event and many others are growing quite steadily. Yeah.
And what do you attribute that to?
I think people really just enjoy it. It's a very authentic event. It's a wonderful time to come out with the family, and yeah, as you said, you'll let the kids run around, and mom and dad can still relax and enjoy it, and the kids have a chance to be out in nature and moving, and yeah.
My son is here today. He's 5.5, and he's running around in circles, literally on a labyrinth, just behind the camera right now. And a part of me is very worried. Don't step in the garden. Don't step in the garden. Are you worried the kids are going to trample over stuff?
We see a bit of it every year. Yeah, most of the part, there's a lot of room to move around.
There is, absolutely. Well, thank you very much, and I think what you guys do here is fabulous.
Thank you.
Thanks. We're going to throw things over now to Dan Marshall. It's another edition of Rapid Fire, this time chatting with number 21, Brock Maxmeyer. Unfortunately, the Clippers were eliminated from the BCHL playoffs, but they are hosting the WCC coming up in Nanaimo, April 26th until May the 5th, and I'm sure you can get all the details on that through the Clippers website. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. Today we're getting a head start on Easter. We're looking for the Easter Bunny. There's 12 of them in the 10 acres of garden out of 70 acres here at Milner Gardens and Woodland, and I think that I'm in the right area here. Rayanne, Rayanne's behind the camera today. I think I might see a little bunny hiding out right here. Yes, there's another one hiding under the rhodos. Milner, of course, is known for their magnificent display of rhododendrons. If you haven't been to Milner, Easter would be a great time to check it out. We're going to throw things over now to Rayanne LaPlante. Ballroom dancing is certainly an art form, and she's introducing us to a couple who has been doing it for a very long time. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and we're spending some time today out at Milner Gardens and Woodland in Qualicum Beach. The last time we were here was back at Christmas. I don't know if you remember, but we were having some fun with those glasses that put snowflakes and snowmen on the Christmas lights, and the 10 acres plus of the garden area were covered in Christmas lights. There has been a couple of changes here since then, most notably a couple of the trees have been removed in the area between the tea house and the gift house, and it's really opened it up and brightened it up and exposed some of the trailways that connect the two properties, or the two buildings that are on this property. I know there's more buildings than that, but the tea house and the gift house are two of the main ones. There's a swimming pool and a nursery, and if you haven't checked it out, you're overdue for a visit. We're going to throw things over now to Sean Leslie for This Week in BC. Historical wrongs. Should we be apologizing or just moving forward? That brings us to the end of this edition of Go Island. This is my son, David, and he's here to help me find one of those coveted Ted Jolda eggs. There'll be 8 laid out per day, March 30th, 31st, and April 1st for the Milner Gardens Easter Bunny Search. You're given a map, you find the bunnies that are placed throughout the garden, take them to the gift shop, get a little chocolate treat. But if you find one of these Ted Jolda eggs, and you know Ted Jolda, he actually had his Golden Paris featured in O magazine years ago, and that launched him into local and international stardom. So David, you're my searcher. Where is that Ted Jolda egg? Where's that egg? Where's the one? Because we get to take it home if we get to find it. Oh, it's way over here. You found one. Okay, awesome.
Now we get to take it home for real?
I think we do get to take it home for real.
Do we?
Do we? Do we get to take it home for real? We'll have to talk to the folks here at Milner Gardens, but if you find one, you do get to take it home for real, and each one is unique. There are no two the same. Thanks for watching this edition of Go Island. Have a happy, safe, lovely, warm, sunny Easter long weekend.